So you're thinking about buying a Garmin watch and you want to use it for strength training, activity tracking, and you're not really sure exactly what that whole process looks like and if it's worth it with the price of the Garmin watches. Now, if you already have a watch, you already probably know what that activity looks like and how to use it. But for those who don't, I want to be able to show you exactly how to use a strength training activity, show you the differences in the intensity that you can put into it when it comes to being very in depth with your training programs, as well as making the right choice for you and whether or not this is going to be effective and worth it for you. Now, one of the main reasons that I'm making this video, obviously, number one, is to give you the information, to give you that confidence to know that you're making the right decisions. But number two is because the last Garmin video that I posted blew up big time. It was literally like low quality, me just talking about the Garmin lactate threshold test. If you're interested in that, I will link it here and you can go check that out. But I figured that for some reason, this is what my audience wanted to see. So I want to be able to make more content like this and hopefully help you guys out with other Garmin related topics that you have on your mind. So I want to cover two things before we get into this. Number one, I do not work with Garmin. They're not paying me. I paid for all my own Garmin stuff that I've ever bought. That would be sweet if I had a partnership with them because I love them. I love what they do. But I wanted to be 100% candid here and tell you that this is my real opinion. I'm not being paid by them. And, this is just what I found in using their products. And then number two, I have been using a Garmin since February of 2022. So it's a little over a year and a half ish that I've been using Garmin products. I started with a Garmin. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but I eventually, it was like a $250 watch. I eventually upgraded to the Garmin Fenix 7, which is their top of the line watch while I was training for my triathlon. I also use the Garmin HRM Pro heart rate monitor for when I'm running and training. And a lot of what I do is strength and hypertrophy training because I'm a personal trainer. I work in a gym every day. I'm a huge believer in building muscle mass and strength. And this strength activity is incorporated into my weekly routines every single week. So I'm pretty familiar with it. I know exactly how it works, and I want to be able to give you guys as much information here as I possibly can so that you're confident doing what you want to do with Garmin Strength. So getting into the meat of this, there's really only three options that you have when it comes to the Garmin Strength activity. Option number one, and the option that I prefer the most, is start and go. Now, this option requires the least amount of input. All I'm going to do is click on the strength training activity. I'm going to press start and I'm going to do my workout, and I'm not going to worry about what's going on my watch at all until I'm done with my workout and I press stop. That's basically start and go. It's very, very low maintenance. And when you do this, this is what your workout will look like on the Garmin Connect app. Basically, you are going to see here, if I click on the workout on April 30th, you are going to see your total time, work time, average heart rate, calories burned, your heart rate over the whole time of the workout, and you're going to see some very minor details about what happened during that exercise. Now, I use the Fenix 7 Sapphire Solar. It's really comfortable during all the movements. I never really have a problem with it. But as you're going, literally all you're going to do is just press start, and you're going to go, you're going to do your whole workout, and then you're going to press stop when it's over. The second option that you're going to have, now, I did this for one workout just to be able to show you, but this is not something that I typically do. If I scroll down to May 1st here and I click on my strength workout, what I did, and I'll have some B-roll to show you an actual visual representation. What I did is I pressed start on the workout. At the end of every single set, I pressed the bottom right button of the watch, and that would stop the set and begin a rest timer. And then when I'm done resting, I press that same button again. It will start the next set, and then I repeat that process over and over again. When I'm doing these movements and I stop the set, it will predict how many reps I've done, and then it will ask me how much weight I have lifted. I can manually edit that while I'm going through the workout, and that's exactly what I did here for this exercise. Now, for this whole workout. Now you're going to see here, it's going to look a little different because the last one just told me some very basic information, and that's the way that I prefer to do it because it's easier. This will give you more information, but it's a little bit more in depth. This is option number 2, and this is what I like to call start and track. Now, you're going to have a different reading here. I'm going to have total time, work time, average heart rate, and calories burned. The total time and work time are obviously different because it's assuming it's taking into account my rest times in between there. It's assuming which movements I did based on the movement pattern of my wrist and the watch's gyroscope. And then it will basically predict what my primary and secondary muscles that I worked were. And this was pretty accurate. I did some bench press this day. So it's working on triceps, obviously back, chest. So, then it will give you all this information. So these are every single set. This is every single set that I did. Obviously it says choose an exercise for a lot of these. Some of this stuff is kind of crazy. I definitely didn't do 8 sets of a bench press. There's a few different things here that were wrong, but it did its best to predict. What I did add in was the weight that I lifted. So after you add all of that in, when you scroll down here to the bottom, it's going to give you the volume under your workout details. And this is kind of cool for option number 2 if you're going to do this, because what it allows you to do is see over time how much you are actually increasing the load that you're lifting, the overall volume that you're lifting. Because if on week 1, I'm doing the same workout over and over again, let's say I do the same exact leg day over and over and over and over and over again. From week 1, I might have lifted 25,925 pounds, but then by week 20, if I'm doing that same workout for leg day again, I hopefully am lifting, 30,000 pounds or whatever it may be. That's increasing the overall volume because I'm getting stronger and I'm gaining endurance and all that good stuff. Also, what you're going to see here is a little bit more information on the training effect. You're going to see a little bit more information on the nutrition and hydration aspect, the intensity minutes, and at the end of the day, it's more information, but for me, I just don't think it's worth it to have to go and track. I would prefer not to track during my workout. It can get a little annoying. You forget sometimes, you forget to press start, you forget to stop the rest timer. It's all that stuff that kind of gets in your way. And to me, it just seems like an unnecessary step for information that I should have in my training program anyway. Like if I'm doing a strength and hypertrophy program, I should have all this information preloaded anyway. There's no reason that I need to have it over here where it's like half done. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. I've been a personal trainer for a long time, so I know what I'm looking for in a program. I know what I want to see, and this is just not it. It is cool. It's interesting if you're a a numbers nerd like that, but I just think it gets in the way of your workout and it's a little unnecessary. And moving on to the third option, what I like to call this is track and then go. I have never done this. I will tell you right now, I will never do this. And I'm going to explain to you why I won't ever do this. What I'm going to do here to do that is go to training and planning. I'm going to click on workouts. And essentially what Garmin will let me do is it will let me create the workout before I even do it. When I do that, I'll show you what it looks like right here. I can click on strength and then create workout. And then it's going to bring me their whole program. It'll set up their whole program. So I would have to add in the exercise, the warm up, what kind of duration I want to do it in. It says lat button press. I can change it to a time. I can change that to 3 minutes on the assault bike, whatever I want to do. And it will essentially let me create the whole workout before I actually do it. The only thing I don't like about this is that hopefully you're on a training program that you already have. And the only difference this makes for you is that when you press that bottom right button on the watch, it will just move on to the next movement and it will tell you, okay, bench press. Now you have 4 sets of 10 on bench press or whatever. I think it's a lot of upfront work for no reward, essentially. I mean, like, what's the reward here? You created a workout in the Garmin app and now you get to repeat that workout, maybe, I guess, is a bit of, complexity that takes out of like training over time. But the complexity up front is just insane. I'd rather just be following a training program separate from Garmin and then just start my workout in the strength activity workout and just let it roll and just do my thing and then press stop when I'm done. That's why I typically roll with option one, which is just start and go. It's very simple. There's no complexity behind it. There's no like extra work that I have to do. And although it doesn't give me all that extra information, I think that that information is pretty useless for most people. Um, these are your three options. And personally, like I said, I prefer option number one, which is just start and go. You can go and track, or you can track and then go. So that basically concludes all the information I'm going to bring you. Now, personally, in my opinion, I do not think that there is a single fitness tracker out there that does strength and hypertrophy training well. I just don't think they do their strength activities. I mean, I couldn't even give them suggestions, to be honest. I don't think that there's a good way to do it with activity trackers. Obviously, there's things like running and swimming and biking and stuff that, they can get into the GPS and the metrics and all that stuff and the heart rate. It was just so much an easier way to track. It's an easier modality to track than strength training, because it's really, really hard to guess what kind of muscular strain we have. That's something that Whoop is introducing, and I've looked at it. Personally, I still don't think it's good enough. I don't think it's worth it for most of these activity trackers to get into strength training. What I will say is my favorite part of the Garmin strength activity and why I still use it, having this entire video where I basically just talked crap about it, is because I like to be able to look at over time, how much strength training have I put in the books? How many times have I been in the gym for 50 minutes, an hour at a time, lifting weights, getting my workout in, getting my weight training in? Like, it's great to see that over time. And that's something that you can definitely look back at in the Garmin Connect website. You can look back at every single activity that you ever tracked. And that is really, really cool. But all the other little details, I just do not think are even worth wasting your time with. I prefer to just track the workout, so it's tracked, it's in there. I have it on the Garmin Connect app. It pops up on the news page, so all of the people that I'm connected with on Garmin can see it. I can see what other people are doing, and it's a great way to be able to push in community and create that accountability and everything. But in terms of using it as a scientific metric to, build your training off of, I just don't think it's very worth it. So that is my opinion. And that brings us to the end. So, like I said, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for tuning into the video. If you found this informative, if you'd like me to make more videos on different Garmin features, I am in love with this thing, so I'm more than excited to learn more about it and bring you guys the information that you want to learn. So comment down below what you would like to learn about when it comes to Garmin, or what you'd like me to review or anything like that. And I'm definitely down to take suggestions for these videos because I love doing this. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.